Privet comrades, today we'll be talking about Mother Russia, brought to us by Jeff McComsey, printed by Alterna Comics. So let's dive into this issue. First thing I notice is the cover. I don't know about you, but when I look at this cover, the first thing I think of is G.I. Joe issue number 21 with Snake Eyes. My first thought. But to me, there's an error on this cover. Correct me if I'm wrong, but when you look at this up here, one in a 3-issue limited series, that can't be right. An issue this good cannot be limited to only 3 issues. That's something we're going to have to reach out to Jeff and Altern and say, hey, you need to fix that. There cannot be 3 of these issues. So let's talk about the story. So it's Stalingrad, fall of 1943. I'll just read you the header of the stuff that's going on here. By 1943, the dead has arisen and put an end to the Great World War II in Stalingrad. The thunder of war has been replaced by the moans of the undead. All the guns have gone silent, more or less. And that is true. It's more or less. There is a gal, Svetlana Gorshkov. She is in a base like a bell tower, sniping down the undead. And it looks like she's been up there for a while because in the room that she's at, she has all these provisions, all this food and supplies and everything that she needs. And she basically goes day by day doing her hair, doing push-ups, and waking up in the morning and sniping a few more of the undead. One morning, though, she wakes up to go sniping, and she gets in their crosshairs a little girl holding a stuffed bunny. And she realizes that this girl is not undead, that she's alive. And as she watches this girl, the girl trips, falls, and then starts crying. Well, when this happened, Svetlana goes ahead and basically leaps out the window with a rope and swings down and goes to get the girl. And she's taking the undead out when they get cornered up against a wall, and she realizes, oh, you know what, I'm never going to be able to do this. So she's like, sorry, little one, takes the gun and is getting ready to shoot the girl in the head, and a dog shows up, and this dog starts taking the undead out, and this guy, he's like, follow me, comrades, if you want to live. So this guy takes Svetlana and this little girl basically to his safe house, and when he gets there, Svetlana is kind of like, hey, that's like a interesting accent you have there. It's Odessa with a bit of Bavaria in there. So he's like, well, yeah, he's like very impressive, Gorshkov. And he's like, oh, so you know who I am? And she's like, but of course, the sniper, Svetlana Gorshkov, Mother Russia. So Mother Russia is her nickname. And basically, it ends here with every German in Stalingrad who's stuck his head out from behind good cover knows who you are. And that concludes the issue. It was a very good read. It's in black and white. I enjoyed that. Lots of times I like color, but for this particular issue, the way it was drawn and written and put together, it was very well entertaining, very well enjoyable. And for $1.50, you can't beat that price. Yeah, $1.50. So I'm really looking forward to reading more about this because, I've always kind of really enjoyed these types of stories, the war stories and the snipers and things. And to me, it's kind of reminiscent of the true life person, Lieutenant Plavenchko, if I'm saying that correctly. Basically, World War II sniper, credited for like 300 plus kills. And I had to bring some information up on her real quick when I was reading this, just to refresh my memory. And a good little backstory about this real-life Russian sniper was, during World War II, she had 309 kills, and she was very famous. Well, she ended up, going to Chicago for the war effort. And when she was in Chicago, she, stood up in front of all the Americans out there, and she said, gentlemen, I am 25 years old. I've killed over 309 fascist occupants by now. Don't you think, gentlemen, it's time that you've been hiding behind my back for too long? You hear that and you're like, really? She said this? This Russian in America says, well, it was met with approval. After a short pause, the crowd met with, great approval, applauded her and everything. And she did a lot for the Soviet Union, for Russia back in the day. Very interesting. Other interesting facts, a lot of women out in Russia were really great snipers. She's not the only one. In fact, it's a true story. My wife herself, from Russia, she would tell you how, when she was in school, they would basically take apart rifles and reassemble them blindfolded. And my wife was really good at it. She can take them apart. This is the kinds of things they taught the kids in school, unlike out here. So they were prepared. They knew how to handle themselves. And I see this issue, Mother Russia, to mix this in with some true facts about Russia itself. It's going to be a very enjoyable and interesting read. So, Alternate Comics, pick it up. Mother Russia, put Alternate in your pull box. Because if you do put them in your pull box, you need to hit the link that I provided down below. Because if you do that, fill out the information, let them know what comic store that you get your Alternate Comics through with the pull box, you'll be sent this stuff. You'll get an Alternate Comics tote bag, as well as a little Alternate Comics pen, a sticker that says I love the smell of comics on a Wednesday, and finally a nice little window cling that says Alternate Comics. Actually, it's hard to see it because I haven't taken it out yet, but soon I'll be putting it on my vehicle. All right, guys, that wraps it up for Mother Russia. Check it out. You'll enjoy it just like I did.